Good morning, everybody. Josh RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at the big Forest River display where all the new stuff comes out. And this video today coming in by your request. So periodically I go through it and make these sort of like preview videos, and people saw this model. They're like, whoa, 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 whoa. What was that thing? We've got a private double over double bunkhouse with a folding cargo function, an upper move bunk, get out the way, bath and a half, with a little mini desk, direct facing entertainment with awesome campsite window coverage, and a true queen bed with options for second air auto leveling, expanded solar, factory installed inverter, big front pass through compartment, Goodyear endurance radials, a better torsion package suspension system, heated enclosed holding tanks with dedicated holding tank heaters, XL bathroom, fajita Friday fume fighting fart fans with roof vent covers, and more, such as all composite and aluminum wall construction, 5/8 tongue and groove plywood floor construction with aluminum structure below that, a very solid walk-on laminated roof structure. Just a lot of awesome qualities that are normally not really found together, all packed into this sucker. This is a little more of an interesting, somewhat unique private bunkhouse. I don't know that I've ever seen one exactly quite like this. And there's definitely little areas where you could say, well, you can sleep that many people, but like, you know, where do you seat everybody on a rainy day? Like it's kind of a little bit different in that regard. Like you're going to maybe have to leverage this RV in some creative ways from time to time, but overall, I think it's a really cool, interesting new offering, and I'm kind of curious to see what you think about it. So as we go, I'm going to hit the good, the bad, the ugly with everything in between, and I want to hear from you. What do you like? What do you dislike? What would you change given the opportunity? And if you appreciate how we get you that footage, hit that subscribe button, and let's get in there. Thing is, like, I like this layout. It's very awkward to try to capture on camera, so I'm going to have to kind of, hey, I'm flipping around this way, flipping around that way, like look every which way but loose here. As long as we're staring at the floor, I want to mention that it is carpetless and ventless. They use a marine woven slide floor. They do that so that in certain floor plans, if you scoot furniture, it won't scuff up the flooring because it's actually a more rugged floor material, very pet friendly. And we're looking at the darker decor option. When you are in the Rockwood Geo Pro, the Rockwood Roo, the Rockwood Mini Light, the three members of the family smaller than this, they only have single decors. When you step into Ultra or Signature, or as Flagstaff calls it, Super or Classic, just to help you learn the terminology, help you, teach you how to fish, they that's where these kind of come in right here. So there's a lighter and a darker look. I personally prefer the lighter look, but I think it's important that I try to show both sides of things because I don't show just what I like. Actually, what's funny is I've recorded several RV tours in my career, two of which were actually Rockwoods, and I actually began it by saying, I'm not sure I like this camper. So, I try to be extremely fair and candid, and hopefully you appreciate that. Now, this appears interesting to me. It's not a power vent fan or anything. It's just a passive ventilation skylight. Now, the RV does benefit already from two XL bathroom vent fans, one in the half bath in the back, one in the full bathroom that's actually kind of on the left side of the screen right now. But look at this right here. I like this arrangement. So when I first saw this, like it almost felt like, oops, they forgot the dinette. And then I kind of remembered they didn't. What they did here is they sort of went with like a motorized dinette. And don't ask me why I felt like they forgot a dinette when it's in plain view. I am not caffeinated right now, and the brain is not braining currently. But usually what you run into in an RV this size is a big super slide with a sofa and a dinette directly across from one another. And that means basically no campside windows, which is absolutely not the case on this floor plan. They kind of adopted, again, that motorhome style dining arrangement where you've got a window televator combo, basically next to the dinette, part of the dinette, across from the theater seating. And they gussied this up, I think, pretty nicely with a pair of pop-up power towers. So if you want to make that like a little phone charge station or anything of that variety, you've got plenty of power outlets around it here. Now, as long as I'm kind of backing up over this direction, I thought I'd go ahead and crack open all the little storage as I come to it here, rather than circle back to it later, because this is a new, wacky, weird, different kind of floor plan, and I don't want to miss stuff, so I want to make sure I cover everything as I go to it. Full plywood extension drawers to the floors, by the way, and you can see under their dinette, they also include full drawers, not just doors. Now, what's also really neat is under the dinette, it's a all aluminum welded cage construction, and they'll do the same thing under their bed. That's some of those long-term heavy duty differences between Rockwood and about 99% of the rest of the industry, basically. Speaking of not wanting to miss anything, I noticed something that if I come back from the other direction, it's going to be hard to spot. That's due to the depth of this slide, they had room for like, I think there's a solid foot or more of counter space behind the stovetop. And you might notice over on the right-hand side, it's dark on dark, so it's hard to see. But they did include some power outlets back there. And most of the household power outlets in this RV are already wired to a factory-provided 1800-watt inverter, which is going to be enough to run many coffee makers and some other lighter to mild duty household appliances. Now, when you do that, you will sap your batteries more quickly. Helping you offset that, you've got a 30 amp PWM controller, which is basically a battery tender, but you've got 200 watts of solar on the roof with an option for a second panel. Up top here, you've got the XL vent fan. You'll see another of those peeking into frame in the half bath area. Now over here, if you take a look at the left side of the screen, you can see me a little over 6 foot with shoes standing in the shower. Now, the RV has a 6'1" sidewall, which normally I can't stand in the shower, but it has a mini barreled ceiling. It's barreled up just enough that I can stand in this thing, and that counts for me. I love the little extra just convenience features like the shower caddy thing. You've got the shower miser. That's the little blue elbow and valve there on the shower water system. If you're not familiar with that, if you're boondocking, it helps you prevent wasting any of your fresh water, waiting for the hot water to start coming out of the shower. And there's no real awesome angle to show the toilet, but you can see that with the hard glass shower door, when the door is next to the toilet, yeah, you're tight on elbow room, but if you slide it out of the way, it works just fine. Now, because we have a swinging door here for this bathroom, they didn't quite have enough wall space to create a sliding door, which Rockwood normally would have done in a case like this. I'll get the rest of the bathroom as we come from the other direction. Moving up here into the bedroom, you get to see one of the other options that's available on this, the second air conditioner. I believe this is 50 amp standard. More and more brands are starting to offer more and more 50 amp service. Something I'm noticing, though, is the number of RVs with 50 amp service is quickly outpacing the number of campsites with 50 amp service out there. So sometimes that can be a little bit of a trick. Now, this bed is dominating the screen because I don't like to use a fisheye wide-angle camera lens. It is a 60 by 80 True Queen bed, and they did leave you plenty of room to walk around that. They also left you a very nicely sized side breeze window over here. And I really, really like what they're doing with the storage around their bed space here. So first of all, you've got I like to call them headboard power pockets. You've actually got 3 shelf layers there. You can clearly see the household and USB outlets up by the headboard, making it perfect for phone chargers or just about anything else. I've been told a small traveler's like CPAP can fit in there. I'm not personally a CPAP user. I'm not very well versed with the size of those, so apologies. Now over here, we have our a second entry door, and this is going to help us, I suspect, a little bit in road mode. You might notice how both entry doors do have their own privacy shade as well, which I think is really important in the bedroom. It's actually kind of funny to me how many RV manufacturers give you a window in the door in the bedroom or a bathroom, and then no privacy shade in the area where you want the most privacy. And what's nice is they give you like an easy reach drawer below your side hanging wardrobe tower. And for a little bit of time last year, they stopped using either struts or self-holding hinges on overhead cabinet doors. And they saw the feedback on that. People went, I don't like that. And they immediately said, no problem. We're going to get back to doing what you like. And Rockwood is going to keep doing those Rockwood things. And that's the kind of thing that I really like from this brand, is how responsive they are. And lifting up the bed is easy because it's got that Bob Seger strut. Again, welded aluminum cage work that they build in-house under that. And they give you like a 2-stage bedroom storage situation. You've got like a footlocker storage on top with triple drawers down below. The trick is to try to get any of this in frame. I have to actually, I've scooted my butt back into the shower effectively. So that's where we are at currently. Now, I told you we'd get you a look at the other side of the bathroom on the other pass through, doing that very slowly so I don't make you motion sick. If you look over on the left side of the screen, you can see all this open right about meow. Now, under the sink isn't really storage. That's actually an access point to, I think, maybe the water heater or something like, I don't remember exactly where the water heater is located, but there's something under there that prevents it from being like water pump. I think that's where the water pump is. The rest of it, though, is plenty of storage space. And I do want to mention, if you do go with the alternative wood color, the lighter wood color, the door, like anything that's wood, anything with this color will swap over into the lighter color, which I have plenty of samples of already out here on the channel in case you're curious about it. This is probably one of the better areas where you can see more overtly the barrel on that ceiling up there. You may also notice how they run a double ducted air system. Now, your main air conditioner by default is always going to be a 15,000 BTU Coleman Mach air unit. The second air, I want to say, is also a 15,000, but it might be a 13.5. Apologies. I see so many RVs that sometimes little details like that kind of get a little bit murky on me. This is the kind of season where every manufacturer comes out with new floor plans, new features, and new standards, and it takes me a little bit to adjust and acclimate. So apologies there for my not having it down by pure, memory at this point. Once again, I think it really bears noting a second time, the gigantic campsite overlook picture window here. They are doing that in several floor plans. So if you like this kind of theater seat dinette window televator, 1, 2, 3, 4 punch, basically, they are doing that in several models so that you'll have plenty of different opportunities to enjoy that. Well, yeah, there you go. If I try to say anything else, I'm just going to be repeating myself. So let's move on. As we crack open this kitchen storage, can I ask you a quick favor? If you could leave me some feedback, if you've been a long-time returning viewer, do you prefer it when I live talk over the footage like this? Or when I just record you some faster flyby footage so that you get to see everything open, maybe it clips by a little bit faster and the overall video is a little shorter. Like, I know that my videos run very long. I understand that. I feel sometimes like when I do the flyby method, what I'm saying versus what you're seeing, they don't always line up, and that can be very jarring and very confusing. Doing it like this, I think, is brings more clarity, but it also takes more minutes out of your life that you are never going to get back. And yeah, moving on to the private rear room. Oops, I forgot about something I actually really like about this. I like convertible storage. I like storage that can be multiple different things. All the shelves in this pantry space, if you wanted to individually, could be removed. Not really adjustable in the sense that you can change the height of the shelves. They're just set where they're set. But if you want to use it partially as hanging storage, partially as a pantry, some combination in between, you can do that. Ooh, really smart location of that converter. So that, if you pop a fuse when the slide's closed, you're not blocked from getting to it. Now, back here in the private, I guess we'll just call it the bunk room because that's the most obvious way to describe it. But because it has more than just bunks, it doesn't feel like just a bunkhouse to me. It feels like there's more going on than that. Now, both bunks, the upper bunk rather, has a window that can open, but it also has the easy lift, gas strutted, move bunk, get out the way kind of system. Now, if I can do that with my skinny chicken left arms, I feel very confidently, most likely you could too. And what's cool about this is, let's say you are stuck inside on a rainy day. It sort of creates a little bit of a lower lounge. Like if you put a big body pillow against that rear wall, that could be a nice little place right there that everybody could kind of hang out. Now they've still, of course, ducted air, ducted heat back here. You can see that they include a couple dresser drawers down below, for the socks and undies. And that's part of the reason why I think they made this storage over here adjustable, so you could kind of change and scale it to however you want. But what I found very interesting is what's happening over here around the corner. Now, it's a little bit tight quarters here, and I don't use a fisheye wide-angle lens, so pardon me as I slide around the corner. You've got TV hookups up there against the wall. Now, they haven't marked the wall yet, but the wall is actually prepped for a TV if you want to add one. And then as we come down below here, you've got some inverter prepped household outlets. There's USB plugs up by the TV hookups. I feel Like those would be better served down here, down lower. But we've got like a little miniature desk area. It doesn't include a chair or anything, but it's enough space. You could do a little bit of laptop warrior work here, and I could actually see this model as a result potentially working for someone who is going to go out and maybe bring some e-bikes or something like that so they can repurpose the bunk space, but they are wanting a little bit of privacy for some daily work activity or some, if I need to grab the laptop, quick work activity. I'm not sure. I think it's best used as a family model. You could see there that the space around the toilet in the rear half bath is tight because I think it's really intended for kids, and I'm obviously an American-sized adult. Now, under the sink, I kind of got my backpack shoved in there, but something I noticed is that door kind of likes to fight with the toilet a little bit. Getting my backpack in and out of that was actually a little bit of a trick. It was not the most convenient experience of my life. I do like how the half bath has some dedicated storage here. That may have to be some of the clothing storage that you utilize for the kids back here in the bunk room. And once again, just so you can see, they do use the bigger fans exclusively. And if you were sitting on the toilet in the half bath and you didn't close the doors, like my Uncle Gary at the public bathroom in the Walmarts, this is kind of what you'd look at right here. You can stare at somebody just, sitting at that dinette bench. You could stare straight at them. But notice on the left side, you actually have outlets for each of the bunks as well so that people could keep their devices charged up. Now, the road mode access on this with the slide closed is actually good, but it's two-stage, which I know some people don't like. It's tight, but you can wiggle worm your way around to get over there to set at the dinette for like an in-motion food stop. The thing is, this is a rack and pinion slide. So if you don't want to have to go outside to get through, if you're okay with just cracking the slide a little bit, you could do that. But that's where the second door comes in. And you might notice they treat the bedroom door the same as the main entry door. It's wider, has a big grab handle, has the nice folding stable steps. I figured I'd give you a second look at the bedroom storage since I didn't give you a good look at it before. But if you need to, without ever touching the slide, you can actually access your bathrooms, both of them, all of your sleeping, the majority of your kitchen function, and your, it's tight, but you can wiggle worm your way to the dinette. Now, I've obviously reopened the slide out, but you get the idea. It's not ideal travel access, but it's not the worst I've ever seen. I don't know. What do you think? All right, so direct your attention to the bottom of the screen here. You get another second look at the weights and measures. When it comes to towing this one, you start hearing families and bunkhouses, and I think a lot of people start asking the half-ton question. And I don't know. I don't know. I think by the time you have a loaded hitch weight and you factor in the 35-foot length of this and the basically approaching 10,000-pound GVW, there are theoretically some heavier duty half tons that could handle it, but I don't know that that will be your everyday kind of half ton that you're going to find. Now let's talk a couple options that are available. We've got things like automatic leveling are available, and it's very easy to tell, by the way. One, you can very quickly learn to look at the different stabilizers, but two, the tongue jack here actually changes when you get auto leveling, because that's actually where your auto leveling controls are going to be located. Now, as we back up here, you might notice a couple things. You've got the double 30-pound propane tanks. A lot of brands still sticking with 20s. That's just kind of one of those Rockwood doing Rockwood things. They always trying to do. They're really, I mean, if I kind of oversimplified their entire game plan, for lack of a better way to say it, their goal is to just do +1 versus everybody. Like, that's the easiest way I can say. They're like, oh, this guy did that, this guy did that, we'll do that, and then we'll do one more. Like, that's just kind of what they do here. Now, up top, you can see where you've got the slide-out awning. That is another one of the options. There's only about 4 options on here. Second air conditioner, slide awning, the auto leveling, and one other thing. I'm drawing a blank here. Now, when I saw the original prototypes for these for 2025, they had that big full width cargo sliding tray in the front. And I'm not seeing that anymore. I think that has been discontinued from the factory, likely due to the way that it affected the hitch weight, because it was adding like 230 pounds of weight dead on the hitch up here that was making it a little bit problematic for some folks. What they have maintained, though, is a big front pass-through compartment. They have a gigantic front storage area right there. And they basically do the same thing that a lot of your bigger fifth wheels do. It's literally a drop frame. The I-beam frame rail, it's not just one straight line. It actually has a drop Z down effectively. Now, when we look up top, you can actually kind of peek at a couple things. You can see how you've got the Fajita Friday Fume Fight and Fart fan covers up there, factory standard, mind you. Now, those are things that you could always add aftermarket pretty easily from like any of our locations, but now they're installed from the factory, and now they're protected under the factory warranty. And that's one of the key differentiating factors. I prefer to have stuff done from the factory. I like to have all the backing and peace of mind and assurance I can get, you know. Now, that little bracket under the KW and Rockwood right there, that's an outside TV bracket if you feel like adding one. It does include the griddle because we are kind of flirting with raindrops here today. They've taken the like iron top off of that so that, you know, it's not left out in the weather. That's never a good idea on them, but it is included. You may notice you have a hot and cold. Oh my God. I am not caffeinated. So I brought, just in case you're wondering like why I sound cloudy with a chance of meatballs today, I brought like 2 Diet Mountain Dews with me today to get caffeinated. I have no idea what I did with them. I hadn't drank them yet, so my brain's not working. They have vanished into the ether. I have no idea what happened to my caffeine, so I'm going to be a little dumber than normal today, effectively. So when I said hot and cold, what I meant is gas and electric water heater. Now, they're running Goodyear Endurance radials. They have factory standard TPMS, and they were one of the very first brands to do that. They also have a torsion suspension package, so not the conventional leaf spring kind of setup. And basically what that does is it kind of helps the RV stay flat the way it's supposed to, especially when you go around those sharp corners where the RV would be inclined to body roll. Something else that I see that they've included for 2025 are balancing beads in the tires. I'm not super experienced with those. I understand what they do in theory, but I went next door a couple days ago from my home store and talked to the fellows at Bell Tire, and I asked them like, what's your stance on balancing beads? And they kind of went, you know, like, we're not really opposed to them, but we've never really seen them make a major difference. So I don't know how functional that really is. And I would love to compare some notes with the class due to my inexperience. If there's someone out there who has different experience, who has more input, good, bad, or in between, if you could share that in the comments with that everybody, you know, I'd certainly be curious to learn about it. It's a 300-pound hitch on the back, 300-pound vertical limit, by the way, so that you want to, you know, bring along a bike rack or a little portable generator tray or something like that. You have the perfect little place to be able to prop one up right there. Now, this back here is kind of handy. Like if you've got just general cargo, like bigger grills or something you want to bring along, the kids' inflatable pool toys, potentially. I haven't hard measured this and I haven't personally tested this, but maybe something like a folding e-bike or something like that. I could see that stuff fitting in here. You've got a very interesting variety of bunk cargo space. But if you look really closely, you actually get to see another really cool Rockwood doing Rockwood thing. All of their welded aluminum cage structure. Anything that they build in-house that is load-bearing or structural is a welded aluminum cage. Now, that door right there is anti-slam, as you can see by the way it's dancing in front of us right there. It also has a deadbolt for security purposes, so you're not maybe worried about somebody, you know, grabbing your kid or something like that. Yeah, so your bed base, your dinette, that's all a welded aluminum cage. And you might notice how they're doing the slam latches on everything. They are very, very good about that. Now, once again, keep in mind, one of the things that we're looking at here, this is a option that we've looked at today, the automatic leveling feature right here. Normally, this would be power stabilizers. And this floor plan, having one bathroom in the front, one bathroom in the back, and the kitchen in the middle, it looks like they were not able to quite cross-plumb everything together. Something else I want to mention while we're kind of kneeling down right here, the underbelly. It is enclosed. It's not specifically forced air heated. That's a very interesting thing they do here. Rockwood doesn't feel there's any sort of major benefit to just blowing air into the underbelly, which admittedly kind of leaks out because you can't really seal an underbelly, because if you sealed it and then you tried to forced air heat it, you'd just be creating a pressurized cavity, and either you would bust the seal with the pressure, or you'd create so much back pressure that you wouldn't get hot airflow into the belly. So they do holding tank heaters standard on every single holding tank, because that doesn't matter if the belly's necessarily sealed or not. Now, it's really freaked a bunch of people out. The Rockwood has stopped using Asdel. because they're like, why? What was wrong with it? What's the big scary deal? Nothing. Actually, there's absolutely nothing wrong. What they were doing was working just fine. If you're not familiar with it, Asdel's a composite panel substitute for Luan wood paneling in their laminated wall structures. They've gone to a different variety of composites. So think about it like this. Kleenex is a brand name of a facial tissue. Asdel is a brand name of a composite panel. They found a different composite panel supplier that was actually bonding better within their lamination process, and that was the only reason they switched over. It allowed them to create a superior product with a better bond. That's it. Nothing big and scary. So there you go. Let me know what you think. That kind of rhymed. Okay, great. That's exactly what I need. Another rhyme bopping around in the old noodle up here. Remember, Rockwood and Flagstaff are the exact same thing. So on that note, I will have to leave you 2 links in the video description because they use different model numbers. So the links to help you check pricing and availability, there will be 2 of those down there. One for Rockwood, one for Flagstaff. Not all Rockwood and Flagstaff products use the exact same model number designator. Also, I would normally say I'll leave you links for similar floor plans, but I don't know that I've ever seen something else quite like this. So let me know what you think about it. What do you, well, I don't know. Did they nail it? Did they fail it? Let me know. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.